Hey guys, Malika here from Malika Semper Astrology, and let's look at this week in astrology. So we are starting with Sunday, March 15th. This is a week where say what you want to say. The filters are sort of ripped off of conversation and expression and communications. So we start Sunday, March 15th with Mercury, which is going retrograde, meets up with Mars in the sky. This is happening at 10 degrees of Pisces. And it's going to be exact at 1:08 a.m. Pacific while we are hopefully sleeping. Mars and Mercury meeting up and holding hands is going to last for a couple days. So what happens here is Mars is giving fuel to our words. Mars is making us more brave and courageous around what we want to say on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So it's an opportunity to say the thing that maybe you've been stuffing, or to bring forth the thing that you have put on the back burner, and the way of expressing yourself. And it's all in Pisces. So we can really do this with a lot of compassion and a lot of empathy in the way that we share whatever is on our heart and whatever we need to say. Now, Mars is also the fighter and the warrior. And when he is on top of Mercury, how we express ourselves, it can come across as if we're challenging somebody or as if we are contradicting somebody. There can be a little bit of competition in what we say and how we say it and the way that we share our intelligence. The filters certainly get ripped off with Mars. It's sort of like it's in our head and out it comes out of our mouth, right? And there's no taking it back. So just be aware of that. Now, it does give us, right, that bravery and that courage to speak up, but we can also start fights with our words on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. We move into Monday, March 16th, and that moon in Pisces is receiving a square from Uranus over in Gemini. This is going to be exact around 1 p.m. Pacific time. So midday today, it can feel like, and leading up to it, it can feel like we are on an emotional roller coaster. Uranus has the shock factor. Uranus has a lot of change. Uranus has a lot of electrical energy. And when he's speaking to the moon, which is everything personal to us, our emotions, our family dynamics, it could just sort of be like an up and down day. Because it's a square, it can feel a little bit funky, like we can get shocked with personal information. We definitely don't want to do boredom today. We sort of want to go where there is some excitement, but because it's a square, that excitement isn't necessarily great for us. It's almost like we're creating some sort of excitable drama just so that we don't get bored today, right? And also relationship with family members can be a little bit like up and down today as well with Uranus squaring the moon. We're definitely open to change, craving emotional liberation and freedom. Like, do not box me in emotionally today. Don't tell me how I feel, so on and so forth. Then we come to Tuesday. Big emotions, March 17th. We have a lot to say today, too. That moon, still in Pisces, is meeting up with Mercury. They're coming together at 9 degrees of Pisces early in the morning, 8:25 a.m. Pacific. And then later in the day, that moon is meeting up with Mars at quarter to 2 p.m. Pacific. So the first part of the day, that moon meeting up with Mercury, we're able to speak to our emotions. We're able to say what's on our heart. We're able to really express with a lot of compassion. They're both in Pisces. So that compassion comes easy. And, the moon, we feel so deeply when the moon is in Pisces. And then Mercury joins it and says, let's say exactly what's on our heart, but let's do it with kindness and sweetness. It's a beautiful morning to ask for forgiveness or to give forgiveness, right? Now, later in the day, that moon meets up with Mars and emotions are heightened again. Emotions are going to be heightened. It's meeting up at 12 degrees of Pisces. Mars brings in a lot of passion, can bring in a lot of drama, a lot of theatrics to what? The feeling world, family dynamics, everything on the domestic home front. We sort of show up and we fight the fight. Now it is in Pisces, so we're fighting with love. We're putting down the sword that Mars generally carries, and we're fighting with love. But we are sort of fighting. There's a lot of passion available, yes, but also we can be disgruntled, we can be frustrated, we can be annoyed when the moon meets up with Mars, and it just sort of comes out, right? So the ability to say I'm sorry is quite important today. And then midweek, March 18th, we have a new moon at 28 degrees of Pisces. At 6:23 p.m. Pacific, she will be exact. New moon in Pisces, it means the sun and the moon are both in Pisces. And I want you to plug 28 degrees of Pisces into your own chart and see what house it falls in, because that is the area of life that's going to be affected by this new moon. New moon, it's quiet, it's dark. This whole week, there is a bit of like an introspection leading up to this new moon because the moon is in a balsamic phase before it hits that new moon point. And we sort of go inward. We can be more tired, right? Especially under a really strong Pisces sky. We could be sleepy. We can be more in our quiet creative cycle or phase. So that new moon in Pisces, it really is about grabbing the dream, the biggest dream on your heart, which is such a Pisces conversation, and planting seeds. Like, what is it that I want to bring into fruition and create from my wildest dreams, right? Pisces born between March 16th and 20th. You're going to feel this moon the most. It's like plop right on your head. It can be quite challenging for Geminis and Sagittariuses under the sky. So challenging for Gemini born between June 17th and June 21st. And a little bit challenging for Sagittarius born between December 17th and December 21st. So just take note of that. There's a little bit of clunkiness under that Pisces energy for Gemini and Sagittarius. But dream midweek and see what you can plant from those beautiful otherworldly seeds. Now, Thursday, March 19th, we have a moon that's being supported by Pluto. The moon has shifted into Aries and is being supported by Pluto in a sextile. This will be exact early in the morning, 5:34 a.m. Pacific. And now our emotions are deep and intense, yes, but it works for us because it's a beautiful aspect. It's a sextile. So deep, intense emotions to start out the day, but we get something from it. We get meaningful connection. We get soulful connection. We're not doing anything superficial, like we're going below the surface and we're touching something meaningful. A lot of deep heart connection can come from this. We're very passionate about things that are on our heart or how we feel on Thursday. Friday, March 20th, we say goodbye to Pisces as the sun enters our cardinal fire sign of Aries. March 20th this year at 7:46 a.m. Pacific, that sun will enter Aries. Now, Aries, the sun is in Aries, but also Saturn's in Aries right now, Neptune's in Aries right now. So those Aries that are born between March 21st and 24th, you're being hit by Saturn and Neptune at the same time. Okay. This is really like letting go, like dissolving the wishy-washy dream and grabbing the concrete stuff from it and building something from it with Saturn, right? It could be also dissolving boundaries, dissolving blocks, and really moving into the creation of your life, Aries. But let's just talk about Aries in general for a moment. They are our fire sign. They are the newborn of the zodiac. Um, the astrological new year starts today, and in comes Aries, this brand new newborn baby of the zodiac. And so for Aries, there can oftentimes be a childlike quality. They see what they want and they want it, and they can stomp or cry if they don't get it. Some of those more fiery Aries. But they're here to high road, motivate us, inspire us, motivate themselves, inspire themselves. They are here to get the party started. They're here to start something, initiate something. And they do it with a lot of gusto, a lot of bravery, Um, they can be pushy, they can be bossy, they can be authoritative. That's just how they came in. They know what they want and they go after it. They can be a bit of a steamroller, right? Sort of elbowing their way to the front of the line. You want Aries on your side. What you don't want is to get on Aries' bad side. Because they will fight you. They're the sign of the warrior and they go out on the battlefield, fists out or swords drawn, and they fight the fight. They fight what they're passionate about and what they believe in. They will be your biggest cheerleader. They will protect you. They will stand up for you if they like you. If they don't like you, get out of their way. Watch out. Aries is also the sign that rules anger and rage and those bigger passionate emotions. So there can be a whole journey for Aries around, how do I express my anger without burning the whole house down? How do I express my anger without burning bridges? When I am triggered, how do I be conscious of the way that I react? They're very reactionary. There's not a lot of impulse control with our Aries. They are dynamite. They are dynamic. They're the ones that like get up and go and do the thing while the rest of us are still talking about it or dreaming about it. They can be so inspiring, and they can be your worst enemy if you get on their bad side. Um, that same day, Mercury goes direct. Mercury's going to go direct at 8 degrees of Pisces. It's been retrograde since February 26th. So it's been retrograde a while. Finally, in with this fresh energy of the sun being in Aries, Mercury is going direct. There's a freshness that happens here, right? And then Saturday, March 21st, that moon, which has now shifted into Taurus, is receiving a square from Pluto. We wake up with this, 8 a.m. Pacific. Moon squaring Pluto for the day. We can wake up a little irritated. Something could be like poking us like a thorn in the side. It's this energy of like Pluto coming in and intensifying the day, intensifying especially the first part of the day. And we don't quite know how to hold the intensity of our emotions or even how to express the intensity of our emotions. There could be emotional power plays, control issues coming in the morning. There could, people like sort of taking control of you and how you should be feeling, and or you being the one who's power hungry and sort of controlling everyone else. But it can be sharp, it could be stinging for the first part of the day as we sort of navigate how to hold the intensity of our private world this morning. We can sting if we're hurt. I think, Pluto, the scorpion, has that stinger and it's not afraid to use it, right? So the way we express our emotions, if we're upset, they can be quite sharp and stinging. So just, have some awareness around that. All right, you guys, thanks for listening, and I'll be back shortly with next week's forecast.